Hello again. Thank you so much for watching. Today we'll be discussing when we come across a refinance scenario, what questions we should be asking as commercial real estate loan brokers. Now, before we get started, if you please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, it helps me a lot in those YouTube algorithms. And also, if you are a commercial real estate loan broker or you're looking at getting into this business, check out my Patreon account. A lot of exclusive content that helps our CRE loan brokers do what they do best. So let's jump right on into it. So when you come across a real estate transaction that's a refinance, there's a lot of questions you want to be asking, but for the most part, it's very simple. And so there's two parts to every deal. There's the property side and there's the borrower side. So right now we're just going to go over the property questions first, and then we'll jump into the borrower questions. So the first things first, you need to know the essentials, and one of those essentials is the address of the property. So what is the address? Now, the reason why you ask this question actually at the very beginning is so that you can look up the address while you're talking to the client, and you can bring up any other issues that you might see with the property. The second question is property type. Is the property a commercial real estate, or is it mixed use, or is it single family? What are we looking at when it comes to the property type? And then also, it is a refinance transaction. So it is important to know when the borrower purchased the property, whether that was 1 month ago or 10 years ago. It's very important to know when the purchase date was of the property that they're refinancing, because a lot of lenders have seasoning requirements on refinances. So we got to know when the purchase date was. And also how much they purchased it for. So if they purchased it last month for $100,000, what was the purchase price? And then also we want to know what the current value is of the property. So a lot of scenarios, you'll have people who buy properties, let's say 6 months ago, they buy it for $100,000, then they put some rehab into it, and now it's worth more. Now it's worth $200,000. So in this scenario, we want to know exactly what the current value is of the property. And we definitely need to know this if we're doing a refinance, because we're going to base our loan to value on that current value 9 out of 10 times. Now, don't forget, you got to remember what are the number, how many units does the property have? And with those units, what's the occupancy? Are we at 50% occupancy or 100% occupancy? So when we're talking refinances, these are all the questions you're typically going to want to get from your borrower. At least these are the essentials. There's obviously going to be more deeper questions that you're going to want to ask, but just up front, this is exactly what you want to be asking. Now let's jump into the borrower side. So two parts to every deal. There's the property side and there's the borrower side. So one of the first questions you do want to ask is, what are the terms of your current note? Is it or do they have a 12-month bridge loan, or are they on like a 30-year note? What's the rate? The reason why we want to ask these questions is so we can get an idea of what kind of terms they're going to be expecting. So that's number one. Now, with the terms of that note, what's the maturity date? It's very important to know the maturity date, because we need to know if we need to put a rush on this refinance, or we need to know if we got time to sit back. This will actually help you with your pricing out your loan as well on how many points you want to charge the client. If it's a file that needs a rush, you need to charge more points. But if it's a file that has some time, the borrower also has more time to shop around. So you might want to charge fewer points. Oh, don't forget to ask what the FICO score is. Very important to know what the FICO, obviously, that's on every deal. We need to know what the FICO is and any issues they might have with their FICO score. And then also, how much do they owe on the property? Is this comes with the terms of the current note. So with that, you're going to find out how much it's valued, and then how much do they owe? How much do we need to refinance? Any late payments with the property. So a lot of times people are refinancing, it might be because they're running late and they might have a notice of default on the property. You need to know about that. A lot of lenders have late payment requirements. Like, for example, you might run into a lender that will not refinance a note if they have more than 5 late payments or something along those lines. So very important to know how many late payments. And then finally, you definitely need to know what the reason is for their refinancing. This might be one of the first questions you ask on the borrower side. You need to know what's going on. Why are they refinancing? Is their note maturing like we talked about earlier? Or are they just looking for a better rate? Or what's going on? What's the reason for this transaction? And then last but not least, you need to figure out what the expectations are for the new note. We've discussed this a little bit earlier, but it's very important. What are they expecting? If you know what they're expecting, then it gives you the opportunity to bring them back down to earth if they're expecting too much, or if they're not expecting enough, then that's something you can actually bring them up to earth, I guess, whatever analogy you want to bring there. But sometimes borrowers expect that they can only get a 12-month interest only, but you might have something better for them. Now, what is the number one question for your borrower? I've brought this up before. You never want to forget to ask this question. Why are you talking with me? Being in the commercial real estate space, especially the loan brokering business, we're not talking to borrowers, and frankly, we don't want borrowers who qualify for bank financing. There's got to be a reason why they're talking to you instead of their bank. So this is going to be the most important question you ask on every single deal, and you never want to leave it out, especially on a refinance transaction. They had to have gotten denied by their bank. And if they haven't gotten denied by their bank, it might be a good idea just to tell them, well, you're expecting bank financing. You haven't talked to your bank yet. What's holding you back? Maybe you should talk to your bank first, then come talk to me. Because that's not the lending field that we're in. We don't do bank rates. We don't do bank terms. We do those ugly deals that are a little bit more difficult to get done. So anyways, I thank you so much for coming and watching this video once again. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, smash that like button for me. That also helps with our algorithms. And also, if you are a commercial loan broker or you're looking to become a commercial real estate loan broker, check out our Patreon. I got a huge lender list for you to sift through. It'll help you place loans and a lot of other exclusive content that you don't see here on YouTube. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video.